Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark the Transporter Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man that's going to once again record this entire episode from on a jet ski. It's Jay Cluitt.
I'm on a jet ski and wearing a suit. Wearing a suit on a jet ski. It's never been done before. I figured I had to do it for this one.
Is this the third time you've done it? I know for the Piranha 3D episode you were on a jet ski.
And I think we did Deep Rising. I was on a jet ski for Deep Rising for Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah, so this is the third time that you've gone out on the ocean, gotten on a jet ski, and recorded an episode.
Yeah, and I mean, in this scene, there's people shouting from a long way away, and the person on the jet ski must have been able to hear them. So you can perfect audio quality on a jet ski. Like, don't worry about that noise. It's easy to hear through.
Whatever you've done to your Yeti mic is just wonderful.
It's not going to survive this one, I think.
So as a first-time watch, Jay, as everyone on Movies, Films, and Flicks and Deep Blue Sea, the podcast, knows, I am a huge fan of jet ski cinema. It was probably my first big hit in 2015. I kind of made a name for myself with stupid jet ski cinema. And we've talked about a lot of movies with jet skis, and now we're just going to talk about the scene from Transporter 2 because it features Jason Statham on a jet ski, and The Meg 2 is going to feature Jason Statham on a jet ski. And I think that Jason Statham might be the king of jet skis because he fights near a jet ski in Operation Fortune. There are jet skis in Expendables 2. The Transporter has one of the highest scores ever for a jet ski action scene in a movie. And The Meg isn't doing too well critically, but it's going to make a lot of money. So, a lot of jet skis,
Okay.
Jay. A lot of Jason Statham jet skis.
So is he the king of like the action jet ski scene, whereas you might have Sandler might be the king of the comedy jet skiing?
That's a great.
Scene.
Yes. So there are I think Melissa McCarthy,
McCarthy, yeah,
and then
Danny McBride
and Danny McBride and Adam Sandler are the king of the comedy jet skis.
Sure. Okay.
But when it comes to action jet skiing, I mean, this is crazy, Jay. Kevin Costner, Ed Skrein, Sandra Bullock, JCVD, Vin Diesel, Dwayne Johnson, Treat Williams, Mark Dacascos, Christian Slater, Martin Lawrence. Will Smith kicked somebody in the head on a jet ski. Then you have Kristen Wiig. You have Johnny Knoxville. A lot of jet ski shenanigans. But I think, Jay, this might be a top 3 jet ski scene for me, the jet ski scene in Transporter 2.
It's got to be up there. I got to say, no offense to Ed Skrein, he was way too high on that list. You said his name far too early.
That's not a good jet ski scene. He drives it in a straight line and into somebody.
What film was that even from?
Transporter Refueled.
Okay, so I have seen the first Transporter a long time ago. All I can remember is the DVD we had rented for the birthday party I was attending did not work, and we had to go back and get another one. I can't remember anything from the film. And I haven't seen anything beyond 2. I think I'd seen 2 before. Some things came back to me, but I haven't seen the rest of the saga.
I got a little disappointed because I was like, oh yeah, Hitman Refueled stars Rupert Friend, who I like a lot. He's really good in Asteroid City. I like him in Homeland.
He's very good in Asteroid.
And I was like, oh yeah, but he's in Hitman Agent 47, the sequel to the Timmy Ollie movie. So I got my Hitman and my Transporters mixed up.
How could you possibly? They dress so differently. They have such different hairstyles.
No, so no wonder I got them mixed up. Because, listen, nothing against Ed Skrein, but when I learned that it wasn't Rupert Friend in Hitman or Transporter Refueled, I was going to say Hitman Refueled, I was a little disappointed.
Yeah. Hitman Refueled is basically, or I guess Transporter Refueled is basically Crank. He has to keep refueling.
Chev Chelios. Oh man.
Chev Chelios. One of the many wonderful Jason Statham names. Frank Martin, a disappointing Statham name. It's not up there. It's no Lee Christmas.
Why don't they have a Bond type joke about Lee Christmas in one of the Expendables movies?
They absolutely should. So, I mean, the Expendables films it's all terrible names, isn't it? It's all Yin Yang. And
Harley Danger and stuff like that. Gunner.
Like, Barney Ross is like a good action name, but it stands out as being like not a pun. Like the rest of the
Hail Caesar's a name of a guy, right?
Yeah, Toll Road is Randy Couture's character, I think.
And he rides a jet ski in Expendables 2 with Jason Statham.
Okay, directed by Simon West from Con Ed.
Our man. So, what I love most about this Transporter 2 jet ski scene is that, like, I started looking at the production design and the usage of yellow in this, and I love the yellow jet ski, the yellow bus, the yellow lines on the houses, the yellow lines on the streets. It's all very washed out. But from an artistic standpoint, they also did something really impressive too. Is they knew that jet skis on the open ocean are boring, Jay, as we all know.
Yep.
You're bored right now while recording.
Because I'm just sat here. We're not even moving on this thing. There's no bobbing up and down. Even if I was moving, I'd still be bored. I need some bridges to go under. I need to jump. I need to land on the jet ski from a great height, falling down an American flag, which must have been painful for Statham to have done. But I love that he there's a lady on the jet ski already. He doesn't just kind of push her off. He flips her over his head and then keeps her on for the rest of the journey.
It's beautiful too, and I love what gets him on the jet ski. He's chasing Jason Fleming, his man, Jason Fleming, Jason Statham, and he's walking like the Terminator. He's chasing Jason Fleming. Fleming plays a Russian guy named Victor, and he keeps missing bullets. Statham's walking like the Terminator. Eventually, Fleming pushes a pregnant woman onto Statham, and Statham has two options: chase Fleming or jump 30 feet onto a jet ski, flip a woman over, and chase him, and eventually hope to hit a ramp that takes him to the bus, which is very MI7. And also, Jay, while watching this, Furious 7, when they jump from the parking garage into the other building that's having construction, Transporter 2
happens in this film. Yes.
Transporter 2 influences a lot of sevens.
Well, and Louis Leterrier, director of Fast X, I mean, he directed this film. The scene with the bomb under the car when he flips it and knocks it off with a hook, that's pure Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that
nothing
somewhere.
More.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that somewhere before, where they rip a bomb off the bottom of it because of their driving. That's happened before.
It's got to be in at least one of them. It has to be.
So so like Louis Leterrier always wanted to direct a Fast movie, and then I feel like the Fast movies kind of used his scenes for inspiration, which is totally fine. The John Wick franchise does it, everyone does it, and then he directs a Fast movie. It's wonderful.
Circle. Driving around in a full circle.
The one thing I wonder if Tom Cruise took this movie for inspiration when he made Top Gun Maverick, Jay.
I feel like he's influenced by Jason Fleming running after a bus. That's proper Cruise style running.
Okay, so when they filmed Top Gun Maverick, they realized that just planes in the air were boring. So that's why they did the Star Wars run. That's why they kept it low. They put cameras on the ground to show the speed of the planes in the canyon, going past shrubs, going past hills, just to give you a sense of speed. In this one, this might be the most impressive filming of a jet ski action scene for a couple reasons, because they go under bridges. There's another boat chasing them. A guy wipes out because of a turn that Statham takes, and it looks pretty painful. There's a nice nice close up where I'm hungry, where they show Statham just cruising up on the jet ski, just looking super cool. Then they cut to the guy on the bus. You have the matching yellows. The close-ups look better than I would say the snowmobile close-ups in Die Hard 2. But just watching him slide on that, and then just watching, like, there are scenes where as he's going under the bridge, the bus is going across the bridge. So there's this weird, like, geography of this scene where you're kind of thinking, I know what's happening here, and I see the bus, and, like, he's going by docks really fast. They're keeping it low and close. And eventually when he hits the ramp, it looks fun, and it's the most dangerous stunt that Statham said he's ever done. When he jumped from that jet ski onto the bus, they were going 35 miles an hour without a wire.
Oh, wow.
And he recently said in 2023, while talking about Operation Fortune, that was his most dangerous stunt that he's ever done.
And it's a split second. It's barely it's barely anything. You'd probably the biggest stunt is the jet ski jumping like up the ramp onto the bridge, but maybe that must have been more controlled.
Yeah. I bet you're like, this is a nothing stunt. You'll be fine. Just jump onto the bus going 35 miles an hour with no cables whatsoever. Yeah. But you said that was his most dangerous stunt ever.
I believe it. I mean, I don't want to do that. It doesn't sound fun. I don't know how long it takes for Fleming to get into the bus or to even think about getting into the bus. Like, it's not until the jet skis are coming up the ramp towards him. He's like, oh, I should probably get into this vehicle I'm clinging on the back of. which is going to be making regular stops. So it's not going to be hard for him to catch up whatever he's doing. I've just watched 50 First Dates recently from another podcast, and that features Adam Sandler jumping on a jet ski, and they're making a remark about how his testicles probably hurt a great deal.
Yes.
That jump is nothing compared to Statham's fall onto the jet ski here. So he's like a metal plated eunuch or something.
It's transported his balls into his body, probably.
Yeah. He is no danger to that lady on the jet ski because there is nothing there that can do anything anymore.
Wait, if Frank does get hurt though, would he show it? Because he's being shot at earlier, and I mean he puts on coconut punching gloves and knocks out a guy later on. Like this is a guy who he does not show any pain whatsoever. So if he's crunching his balls, because Sandler tries to hide it too on 50 First Dates, do you think he's just trying to be like super cool about it?
I think so. He hasn't got time to show pain. He's got a bus to catch. So yeah, I feel like I don't think we see him immediately after the sequence, but there's going to be at least a kind of a limp going on, like just a hobble or something, just to kind of walk it off, recover a little bit, because that's quite the fall.
I gotta tell you, Jay, sometimes when my daughter, if we're changing her or just something, or I'll sometimes catch an errant foot right to the plums.
Sure, yeah.
It floors me. So the transporter, he's not human. And then he's got to ride on a jet ski on the waves. Like that's gotta hurt.
Yeah. It's not. There's no suspension on a jet ski. You can't really do much of it. You can't do a lot about the terrain. You're gonna feel it. But yeah, I mean, my little dog tends to jump into the lap, and often he misplaces where he jumps. And yeah, it never doesn't hurt. It always hurts.
So he's. What if there's a scene where the woman on the back, she's screaming, right? But she takes her time, she stops, and she's like, "Oh, your balls!"
Killing me.
Hey, do the accent. Statham talking about, "Hey, Frank, guy who stole my jet ski. How you feeling?"
Oh, my testicles are killing me. I spoke with Statham too long recently on an episode of Deep Blue Sea to Meg, and I feel like I've lost it a little bit. It's all right at this point.
But okay,
it's a megalodon. That's how I get into it. It's a megalodon. My testicles are killing me.
So
I landed right on me nuts. I landed on my keys.
Now do Adam Sandler as imitating
Adam Sandler.
Jason Statham.
I cannot do Sandler to save my life. I've never even tried to do Sandler.
So Jay, as you've watched a few jet ski scenes, so I'm gonna rattle some off that I know for a fact you've watched.
Sure.
Piranha 3D, Shark Night, Waterworld, Transporter 2. You've watched. Have you seen You Don't Mess with the Zohan?
It's been a long time.
Okay. Let's see. You've watched Deep Rising. You have watched Hard Rain. So I mean, where does this rank for you in regards to jet ski action scenes?
So, as much as it pains me to say it, Shark Night 3D is going to be pretty high on that list.
Yeah.
Just because the guy getting taken out on a jet ski by a shark.
A great white shark that times a jump perfectly.
It's the best scene of that less than stellar film. Hard Rain, not high up on the list. It's kind of they're not out in the open ocean. They're inside of a school, so that's good. But it's still kind of boring.
Yeah, it is.
Piranha 3D is just a fantastic film through and through. So action Adam Scott, like having a wonderful time jet skiing around. It's got to be up there. Waterworld, I love. I've talked about that scene before. I love just how nonsense and ridiculous the three guys going to kill each other.
Oh man!
Like even if Costa hadn't saved the person between them, they still would have crashed and died. It's such a horrendous sequence, and I love it so much. So this is up there. This is a fun. It's a short scene. It's like a minute long. So it's not. It's like he gets on the jet ski. He jet skis around a little bit. He's got to jump onto land. The best way for a jet ski sequence to end, other than three guys exploding into each other. And then the lady just kind of gives him a wave. He's won her over over the course of this minute. So yeah, it's up there. I like the scene. It's a fun time.
He's the only man on this planet who can woo a woman by stealing a jet ski with her on it.
By picking her up by the bottom essentially and flipping her over his head. It's a mating ritual for the transporter.
That's how I met. Wait, say, and that's how I met your wife, kids.
Yeah, and that's how I met your wife, kids. I landed on a jet ski. I picked her up, flipped her over. Her previous boyfriend was on a jet ski. He wiped out. We never saw him again.
Oh, that's perfect. And you know what's interesting is this is one of the highest rated movies to feature it. So Barb and Star's number 1, right?
As it should be.
Piranha 3D, number 2. The Expendables 3, or Expendables 2, 67.
Feels high, but okay.
So good. Jackass 3D, 65. But then Transporter 2 is 52, so it's in 5th place.
It's higher than Deep Rising is pretty low down on the ranking.
I don't want to talk about that. That's so stupid.
Yeah, it should be higher than it is.
It's insane. But I would say it's up there because I think they know how to shoot a jet ski, Jay. Like, this isn't... Louis Leterrier knows what he's doing. I mean, this is a guy who... He did Transporter, Danny the Dog, Transporter 2, Incredible Hulk, Clash of the Titans, Now You See Me, The Brothers Grimsby, Fast 10. Like, this is a guy who... He went and made Dark Crystal. He has another movie on Netflix that did really well. Like, this is a guy who I think knows how to shoot. And... I love the way he shoots this because he knows inherently they're boring, but he just makes them look good here, and I like it.
I'm not gonna agree with all of his films being like he knows what he's doing because there are some Louis Leterrier films I'm not big fans of.
Which one?
Did you say Danny the Dog?
Yeah, Unbreakable.
Unleashed.
Unleashed, yeah. They call it Danny the Dog or Unleashed.
I've never heard it called Danny the Dog before. So yeah, I mean, Clash of the Titans, Now You See Me. I never saw Grimsby because it had terrible reviews. Mm-hmm. Those aren't good films. Incredible Hulk might be my least favorite Marvel film. So Leterrier, when he was announced he was directing Fast X, I immediately became less enthused about going to see Fast X. So he's not my favorite director, but I do enjoy some of the stuff he does in Transporter 2. Like you mentioned, I thought it was Watermelon Halves that Statham put in his fist to fight with, and then the paint. There's like the fire hose fight. That's a great fight sequence.
Yeah.
Later in this, when he's whipping paint cans at people, when he ties 3 guys up and then turns the hose on, and they're all riding around. That's such a fun scene. I wanted more scenes of Statham fighting guys with just improvising stuff.
Just wiping them out. Yeah, I mean, but also I think what helped him too is he directed Lupin, then he went and did The Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance. Like, I wonder if he got better while shooting his TV shows.
Maybe. I haven't seen any of his TV shows, so maybe I need to correct that.
But yeah.
What's the Takedown? What's The Takedown?
That's with Omar Sy. It's a French action film that was on Netflix.
Okay. Maybe I'll give that a go.
But the one, I guess I keep saying this, but this chase just feels somewhat organic because he's a transporter. He can drive anything. He technically transports a woman away from her boyfriend and onto a bridge.
Unwilling, yes.
Yeah, unwilling transport.
He'll transport anything, whether it wants to be transported or not.
And it's just so silly. Like, in its heart, it's a silly scene. Then she waves at him, and the guy's like shocked that he ramps it. Like this, I like the scene because it's just silly. It's so unabashedly silly. And I keep saying that word, but I don't care, and I love it.
But it's not the silliest things in this film. Like the knocking the bomb off underneath the car with the hook.
Yes.
Is far sillier.
Yeah.
Is the silliest thing in most films. What else? I did take some notes over the course of the film. But you got the classic guy having he's drinking out of a bottle. He looks up and there's a car driving with a wheel on each side of an alleyway, and he throws the bottle away. I love whenever anyone does that.
Yeah.
And you've got Matthew Modine being such a douche, he's pure Josh Lucas in this film. He's being such an asshole.
Oh man.
Throughout.
And the plot's kind of smart in this movie, is it not? Where they kidnap a kid, inject him with something, give him back, and then, yeah, there's a lot. Because they just would have injected him with it, right? And not kidnapped him. He just would have gotten the dad sick and tons of people would have died.
Yeah. I feel like they may have
started a worldwide catastrophe.
Instead of hatching a plan to kill the kid, they could have maybe just kidnapped the kid. They could have just kidnapped Matthew Modine. Would have been a quicker route.
But then he wouldn't have gone to the thing and got all those people sick.
That's True. Yeah. Yes, you're right. So yeah, this makes sense. And I like that Statham has to kind of do the Mission Impossible, go rogue, and he's working on his own. He's got to solve this, and it's another Statham with a kid. We love Statham with a kid films, like with Fate of the Furious and the Meg. Yeah, Uncle Statham, the best kind of Statham.
He's a great uncle. He's so good in this. But yeah, I just like Jay. Also, I like that this movie was filmed in Miami. They actually shot here. But I do feel like it feels like the French version of Miami. But I still like the bright colors of it. They actually, you know what's funny though? Statham, he's kind of a punk. He goes, yeah, the first transporter was cold. And he's like, then we went to Miami and shot, which was nice, but I was wearing a suit the whole time, so it was hot.
I think that's the character. He's not going to switch to Hawaiian shirt and board shorts.
So, like, I know he's just speaking the truth, but come on, Uncle Statham. Well, maybe he's an grumpy Uncle Statham by now. But yeah, he definitely.
And in the Meg, he's drunk uncle.
Wait, so in this one, what is he in this one?
Yeah, well, this one will be Grumpy Uncle because he's all hot and sweaty.
Grumpy Uncle, and then we have Mass Murderer Uncle in Fate of the Furious.
Yep, and drunk Uncle. Well, but he's called Crazy, so like Crazy Drunk Uncle in the Meg. The little girl calls him. The little girl's nickname for him is Crazy. Hey, Crazy.
Kids. Oh man, but yeah, it's okay. So I like that Grumpy Uncle in this one, but he's like, I promise.
Thrilled to see Keith David. Thrilled to see Keith David.
Oh, right. Wasn't that great to see him?
No, he's not in it enough. He's not in anything enough. But it's always fun to see him. And Lola, Kate Nauta.
Yeah.
She's from Avalanche Sharks, a film we will one day cover on Deep Blue Sea, I'm sure. Her death on the spiky wine rack wall. Pretty cool.
Yeah. She's a good villain, I think. Statham said he didn't like fighting her, so he had to defend mostly against her. But yeah. She had like the good look, the guns,
just underwear. And
yeah, I mean let's get this right. It's 2005, Jay. Like this is a 2005. This wasn't the bastion for This is very much. This feels like a 90s action film in the mid 2000s. I would say
it does. Yes.
But I like that Ebert liked it. That made me happy. I was reading through.
That's surprising.
I was reading through his review. And I think the whole thing he liked about it is he put Transporter 2 is better for a number of reasons than the first one. One of them is as an ingenious plot that continues to reveal surprises and complications well into the first act. And he put, this is not simply a movie where the good guy chases the bad guys, but a movie where the story turns a lot trickier than we expected. And I think he seemed to have fun with it. Like he's like, this movie's insane. And I was
expecting Modine to be in on the bad guy plot. So I was surprised when he wasn't. He was just, and like he gets a happy ending. Like this guy's been an asshole the whole time. That's surprising.
Like a horrifying. Like he likes soccer. He liked soccer last year. This year he's into badminton.
Yeah, he's a very. I feel like at the end of the film he's learned to maybe spend some more time with his family. That's Modine's arc.
I lived. Yeah, I do like that the dad's not shifty. I like that Frank turns that lady down and then she thanks him for it. But I mean, it's Statham, so like he's just, I guess in these movies he's so magnetic.
Also, he has a metal plate where his private parts would be. Like it's nothing. He couldn't do anything if he wanted to. It feels like a chivalrous act, but it's out of necessity.
Oh, man.
He has nothing there. I'm surprised when he lands on the jet ski it doesn't go clang.
Well, I mean, let's watch it again. Let's see if we do hear it. You should add that in there, Jay. Just drops right down on it. But I love that in a movie, the thought process leads a guy to just being like, yes, the jet ski is a viable option for me to catch a man on a bus.
Yeah, because he's stuck at a party. He can go through the party guests, or does he know? Yes, he sees there's a jet ski. He sees there are jet skis below, but it's still a wild move to plow through all these people. He's probably a faster runner than Jason Fleming is.
Yeah.
I feel like he could have caught him. And again, he's on a bus. Buses stop, famously.
Like, I don't know why it's a school bus doing this. Probably just for the yellow color. It's just for the yellow color.
It's a school bus being used as a regular bus because it's full of just normal people. It's not full of school kids. So you're right. It has to be just because it's a yellow color.
They were like, "Are we gonna paint a bus? No, just get a school bus." Oh yeah.
We could go to Bournemouth where there is a company called Yellow Bus.
Hey.
The buses are yellow, but they actually went out of business last year, so we can't do that anymore.
Oh,
They knew all this 18 years ago.
oh scumbus. No,
Scumbus.
the one thing I will say is I do like that Statham is on this jet ski in this scene. Like you can see him making the turn, and that adds a lot to it.
Yeah.
That's why you bring in Statham, isn't it? To put him on a jet ski and keep him on it.
My guess, I couldn't find out who the lady on the jet ski was, but my guess is she's probably a stunt person
Yeah, that makes sense.
to be like involved because she has a couple of lines, but it's mainly like, "What are you doing? Get off the help!" and screaming. And so maybe she's there to like he's driving the jet ski, but she's there to help if anything goes wrong, I guess.
Yeah, it makes
Or I mean,
sense.
she could even be driving it in some shots, just putting her arms through his. On the
Oi.
long shots.
Oi.
That's not the gear stick. Jet skis don't have gear sticks. Do they have gear sticks? I don't know.
No. I can't start this thing. It's not manual, it's automatic. Ugh. I only drive manual vehicles. Well, so we're just going to sit
Drive
here?
anything.
Yeah.
I can drive anything as long as it's not automatic. I can't. I got to do everything in a car.
It's too
I got to
easy.
change gears. Yeah. No shortcuts.
So we're just going to sit here?
That's right. Until you convert this jet ski to be manual, there's nothing I can do about it.
Wait, so,
You heard me.
okay, can you hand me the manual? No.
Also, this is my jet ski. Get off. I don't want you here. I don't want it. Like, it benefits me for us not to go anywhere.
Leave it alone, lady. What?
He just slides up and starts swimming.
Ugh. Never mind, I'm a championship level swimmer.
I'm Jason Statham. I was in the Olympics or something. I can't remember. Commonwealth.
I don't know, one of them.
It's all the same.
You think the Commonwealth Games are the same as the Olympics? Yeah.
Sure. When you're a diving board, it's all the same.
When you're a diving board? The same dives I did, they did in the Olympics.
You
What?
treat every dive like it's the same. You dive. You give it your all. You give 110%, whether you're diving in the Olympics, the Commonwealth Games, or just at some garden party pool. You put your all into it. I don't know where that accent's gone. It's walked off somewhere. Let's take a dive.
All right, on the jet ski scale, what would you give this on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm good. I mean, it's up there. I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna give it quite high. 8 out of 10 for this jet ski scene.
Wow. That's, you know what, Jay? I'm going to give it an 8.7.
Okay.
I think that's good. Because,
What's stopping it from being a 9? What's that 0.3 knocking it off?
I mean, listen, it's almost perfect, right? But it needed a clang sound when he landed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that. That's probably all that's missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it needed a shark. That's what I mean. I needed
There it
some
is.
kind of natural thing. And like, he's out in the ocean. There should be more things chasing. There should be sharks. Yes, there's boats on the jet skis, but we need a megalodon to come after him. That's what we need.
Yep. Then it would be a 10.
I'm looking forward to seeing him on a jet ski versus a megalodon.
Yeah. And we're going to, this is coming out on a Friday, and you can go to Deep Blue Sea, the podcast, and listen to that on a Wednesday.
Yes, excellent. And you should do that.
Absolutely. So, Jay, where can people find you?
Deep Blue Sea, the podcast, at Deep Blue Sea Pod on everywhere you can find social media. Mark and I are going through Deep Blue Sea adjacent films like The Meg. I think that's our only Statham film so far. I think he's not done a lot of Deep Blue Sea adjacent films, but he'll do some more, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then at Life vs. Film is my personal site, but not a lot really happens there. But you can find me on Twitter on X at Life vs. Film, or on Instagram at JAYCLUITT if you want to see pictures of my dogs that occasionally jump on my groin.
Well, this is all, you haven't been on MFF in a long time, so I'm glad to have you back.
I'm still very sorry that I missed your 500th week celebration. That still annoys me that I couldn't make it for that episode.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, they'll still be there.
Yeah.
That's a lot, though. I think we're going to talk kitchen fights, but that Raid 2 one's its own episode, so we got to figure that out.
It absolutely is, yes. I need to watch that again.
When I was watching that, I was like, I just don't know how to break this down into.
We can't talk this for 3 minutes and then move on.
Yeah.
This is like the majority of a day needs to be dedicated to this one fight.
Because I need to get back in the commentary. Like, there's a lot of work for that one. So we'll talk about other kitchen fights, and then we'll do a separate Raid episode.
I'm here for it.
Sounds awesome. Good. Well, hey, man, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for Jay Clang Cluett, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.